Shalom. I want to begin a lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hara Kakodash. Double blessing and honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us His truth through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Back with another lesson through the Spirit. Real quick, man, there's been a lot of things that's been going on in the news. I just want to start off by saying that. And there's been a lot of good things to talk about. You know, Donald Trump is continuing to escalate things with this war and whatnot. From what I can tell and from what I've seen, we're inching closer and closer to a war with Iran, man. It's getting real, man. It really is. These attacks have continued going on. I think they said, actually, I don't even want to quote that because I don't know. Actually, let's get it. I'll Google it. Salaki. How many attacks has America done to Houthis in the past month? I should have said strikes. It's funny, man. I seen a video also today talking about how U.S. is trying to talk about how Iran can't have nuclear weapons and all this stuff, and it'll be bad. And if they do, they'll destroy Western Asia and whatnot. And it just shows the hypocrisy of Esau Edom, man. Basically making it seem like Iran and the Houthis are the bad guys, when America has been over there fucking shit up, man. And also carries nuclear weapons. And this that Al Jazeera. Right. I got that channel back at home too. And they have all the news that they report all the news that go on over there, overseas and stuff in Western Asia. I could have sworn I seen a metric that said they sent like over 200 strikes, but I don't know if that's accurate, man. I can't find that, so don't quote me on that. But from what I'm seeing right here, it says, and this is from 3-4 days ago, they hit more than 40 locations across Yemen, including in Sana'a, with at least 7 people injured. Right, and we know that it's more people getting messed up than that, but let me see if I can find this as well. Let me see. Like this, I want to show some of y'all the headlines. Houthi rebels have been decimated by relentless strikes. Putin ally. Nah, I seen something that said that Putin sent out a few thousand troops. I did see a metric about that though. After talking about peace, because you know Donald Trump is trying to threaten Russia into ending the war, man, with Ukraine. Right. They're also battling over Greenland and whatnot. I know that Donald Trump was supposed to implement some more tariffs, either today or in these upcoming days. It says, I don't think there's any hope. Photos show earthquake devastation in Myanmar, Thailand. And those buildings was getting messed up too, man. See, look, U.S. airstrike, pound, Yemen overnight, killing at least 3. Houthi rebels say. Right, and the Houthis are a smaller group, military group, right? But they're also backed by Iran. That's what America's complaining about. See, you have this is a whole nation, right? A whole country going against a small military group, okay? And that's just showing America is known for doing stuff like that. That's all I'm saying. It's picking on smaller opponents. Picking wars with smaller opponents. Right, he just laid off 10,000 people from the CDC and the FDA. He's trying to deport 600,000 Venezuelans. And in Venezuela, I didn't realize this. I just learned this the other day. Venezuela has I'm pretty sure the most natural oil in the world. See, look, Trump says he is pissed off at Putin over Ukraine, threatens more tariffs on Russian oil. See, he's just doing dumb shit, man. Really. See, look, Trump couldn't care less if foreign car prices go up from tariffs, will not fire anyone over group chat leak. And I was just talking to my pops about that too. So I know that Ukraine also had just hit like a nuclear plant or something like that in Russia as well. There's been a lot of natural disasters going on too, just in general. So let's go ahead and get into this article real quick. Lord willing, I can put some precepts out concerning it. But I did say this during my lesson the other day. I seen a video of a guy talking about this. He was like some type of official within the United States. He wasn't like a civilian Edomite or nothing like that. He held some type of position. Maybe he might have been military or some type of political figure. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he basically said that if the United States went to war with China, like we would have literally 0% chance of winning. And I can recall, and I've told this story before, right? When I used to work at Walmart back in high school, this is probably like, 2025. So like probably about 4 years ago. 3.5, maybe 3 to 4 years ago. Yeah, probably 4 years ago. Which it sounds crazy to say that, but that's how you know the time is flying, man. But I was talking to one of my coworkers and I said, you know, we're gonna be going to war soon, right? I said this 4 years ago, before I started teaching. Of course, I had known about the truth for a few years by then, but around that time, I had just started like really kind of taking it serious and actually reading and searching things out for myself. I told him, I was like, yeah, you know, we could go to war with China and stuff like that. Man, China can't fuck with us. We got the best military in the world. Da-da-da-da-da, man, we America. This is a Jake saying this, by the way. We not worried about China. I said, oh, okay. So let's read this title, man. I wonder if I asked him that same question, would he still say the same shit? But then again, niggas don't pay attention to things that goes on in the world. So it says the U.S. is not ready for a nuclear showdown with China. Key conservatives warn Trump.
Imagine that tomorrow, China.
Salakia. I want to say fair use. Copyright Act 1976. This is not for any monetary gain at all. This is strictly for educational purposes. Okay? So YouTube, please do not strike this video down. I'm not making any money off of this video. This is just for educational purposes. Okay.
Begins the invasion of Taiwan. Japan, Australia. Imagine that tomorrow, China begins the invasion of Taiwan. Japan, Australia, and the United States come to Taiwan's defense. During the course of the conflict, China launched...
Oh, yeah, by the way, they said it was, what was that report they said about Japan? Japan megaquake Fears, here it is right here. Fears Japan megaquake could kill 300,000 people. Like I said, don't be surprised when we see more and more of these high, what's the word I want to use? Mass casualties. Yep. Because the Lord is not playing, man.
Tomorrow, China begins the invasion of Taiwan. Japan, Australia, and the United States come to Taiwan's defense. During the course of the conflict, China launches a tactical nuclear weapon and destroys the American Air Force Base at Guam, killing 3,000 Americans in an attempt to turn the tide of battle in their favor. The president wants to respond in kind by targeting a similar Chinese target with our own tactical nuclear weapon. There's only one problem with all this. We probably couldn't do such a mission if we tried.
I want to get this, man. I want to get this. No, that's Joel chapter 3, verse 9. This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares in the swords and your pruning hooks in the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Oh, man. And America is the weak in this situation, man. People really don't understand that society, this modern day America has done a good job of making the common folk, as I like to call them, normal people, the citizens, believe that we just have this strong and great military. Like, we're back in the 40s and the 50s where we're the only ones who had nuclear weapons or atomic bombs, so to speak, right? When it's in fact, I believe it's either 5 or 7 other countries that have nuclear weapons and warheads, right? And America doesn't even have the most of them. We have the second most behind Russia. But this isn't the olden days where we were the only ones who just had these nuclear warheads or atomic bombs and whatnot. These other countries have definitely advanced their military, have better technology than America, and their armies are far more superior. Okay? America is drunken off of what? Edomites are a very proud group of people, right? They don't know how to be in a meek type of spirit, okay? They're known to be proud. Hey, thou that exalteth himself as an eagle, right? And it's in the reads in the scriptures, man. The proud. Let me get it real quick. Hold on, man. Shall judge my nation. Okay. All right, let's get this, yo. This is Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 11. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of man shall be bowed down, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day. And like the elder, I can't remember which elder said this. It might either be an elder apostle or elder brother. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it might be elder apostle Gabor who says this, that the Lord's name will be magnified throughout the world in that day, man. Right? The Lord Yahweh is going to be exalted in that day. He's going to be made high. He's going to be known throughout the land, so to speak. And it says below this, the day of reckoning coming. Verse 12, for the day of Yahweh of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low, and upon all the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, meaning big countries, and upon all the hills, meaning smaller countries, that are lifted up, and upon every high tower, and upon every fenced wall, and upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all pleasant pictures. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low. And Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day. And this how you know it's talking about the Edomites too, right here in verse 19. And the idols shall be utterly abolished, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth. And that's talking about those bunkers, man, that these Edomites have, these rich ones at that. You even have people building bunkers because they know that their kingdom is crumbling. They already know this. Why do you think they're preparing, right? They're preparing because they know that their judgment is coming, man. They're not fools. You even have people, like I say, the common folk, building bunkers underneath their driveways, right? Let me get that real quick. And of course, Edomites aren't the only ones that are going to be in those bunkers, man. Any wealthy person is going to be in them, but they are known for dwelling in caves. See, look, driveway bunker. They think they're going to be able to survive off going into the ground, man. But guess what? That shit's not going to save them because you cannot escape prophecy, man. That's what the Lord's going to use his men as weapons, his mighty men, the 144,000. Lord willing, we build that number in the hopeful elect. Really the 144,000, the hunters, man. To go and get you niggas. For fear of Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. Okay? I want to get that word Tarshish, though. Which I didn't even mean to read that far down, but it's the spirit and 144. Call all Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Let me get that word, though. Yellow Jasper, son of Javan, a Benjamite, son of Bilon, one of the wise men close to King, a city of the Phoenicians in a distant part of the Mediterranean Sea to which the prophet Jonah was trying to flee. Site unknown, but perhaps in Cyprus or Spain. No, Spain, the Spanish are also Edomites as well. A city somewhere near and accessible to the Red Sea, to which ships constructed at Ezion Geber on the Elenitic Gulf on the Red Sea were to sail. Okay. So let's finish playing this. And this all started from, let's rewind and see what this guy said.
Targeting a similar Chinese target with our own tactical nuclear weapon. There's only one problem with all this. We probably couldn't do such a mission if we tried.
Yep. Why is that? We're going to get another scripture concerning that. We probably couldn't do that in such a situation. Why? Let's see what the book says about it, man. Should we go to Obadiah or Jeremiah? Hold on, let me see. I will make these smaller Monday. I just brought this out too the other day. Yep, we can get the book of Obadiah since I already read Jeremiah 49 the other day. Edom will be humbled. Esau. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yahweh the Most High Power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle, man. These nations are going to end up coming against her in battle, man. And it speaks about it throughout the scripture. Well, brother, this is the New Testament. This is the Old Testament, brother. The Old Testament is done away with. So that means it don't count. Go read Revelation 17, nigga. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised, right? These other nations, if you haven't been able to see this, man, dude, NATO is falling apart. Donald Trump is creating more and more allies. These countries are starting to hate the whore, man. It's plain and simple, man. It's literally unfolding in front of our faces. You can't deny that, right? The formation of the BRICS is where that really started. They already dissed the dollar. They've been doing de-dollarization, right? For the past, 2-3 years now? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, right? They had the whole world in the palm of their hands. And they thought the same taxes was going to work. No. You can't control this narrative, man. Daniel chapter 4 and verse 17. The Most High ruled in the kingdom of man. He appointed to whoever he wants and set up over it the basis of men. The Edomites. The footstool, right? They forgot that the Lord is who gives them their power, not themselves. And where does that come from again? Pride. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground, right? Straight pride, man. Pride. So like your pride goes before destruction. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty look before a fall. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. And no need for me to read further down. You all can read down. But they are greatly despised among the other nations, man. It's a pretty long one, so I might fly through this because I've been getting precepts already and I ain't even got to this yet. All right, let's go. A group of influential conservatives and lawmakers is warning, administration that the U.S. does not have the tactical nuclear weapons to fight China if war breaks out in the Indo-Pacific. It released a 13-minute video about a Heritage Foundation argues the U.S. nuclear arsenal is outdated with the newest weapons nearly 40 years old, about as modern as a grandpa's vintage Corvette. Didn't I say they had? I haven't read this article, by the way, and I said that they had newer and better technology than us. Just because they said that, I might as well go ahead and read this. Let me read this first. Military experts across Washington have begun gaming out the potential scenario if China invades Taiwan and the U.S. comes to the island democracy's aid. The video opens by putting forth a scenario where China may launch a tactical nuclear weapon. Yeah, we already watched that. I'm going to get this real quick. Let's jump down to verse 8. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter, right? And why is that going to happen? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Who's Jacob? The 12 tribes of Israel. Who's the Israelites? The Negroes, Natives, and Latinos. Who's Esau? The Edomites. Who's the Edomites? So-called white man. How do you know this, brother? Because we've been warned since the womb. They've been our enemies. That's why they seek it. That's why they tried to seek and destroy us for so many years. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So the Lord has been destroying the wisdom out of Edom, man. And we've been saying this. They've been destroying the wisdom out of Edom. Here it is. Y'all just let me know if this makes sense. Maybe I'm tripping. We have a president that has been making threats to other countries with more nuclear power than us, nicer and newer upgraded weapons than us, more troops than us, stronger military than us. Mind you, we're making threats to these countries because China's not the only country we have to worry about. They're also backed by Russia and Iran. And we're basically contending with all three of these nations. And our allies are not fucking with their allies. Mind you, we're making threats to these nations. All three of them at the same time with outdated weapons and arsenal. Does that sound wise to you? Does that sound smart? Who would think to do something like that? As it reads, man, children are their oppressors, dude. Children are their oppressors, man. The wisdom is truly leaving. It is truly leaving Esau, man. And the mighty man out of Teman. And Teman, let's get that word. The region occupied by the descendants of one located east of Idumea. And that word Idumea is a Greek word for Edom. Teman, the name of two Edomites and of the region and descendant of one of them, South Teman. I'm pretty sure in the Greek Teman means wise, if I'm not mistaken. But let me make sure. Salaki, it does not technically, okay. So it means south, but it is associated with a place known for the wisdom of its inhabitants. And the people of Teman, the Temanites, were famed for their wisdom. Okay. So the mighty men are leaving, like I said, man. Patriotism has been dying for years now. Nobody wants to fight for this country. I mean, there's, of course, these few Edomites, redneck, whatever, hillbilly motherfuckers that'll fight, but it's been leaving, man. All right, the president wants to respond to Khan by, all right, he urges U.S. has abandoned U.S. a visit. Wants to respond to Khan by targeting a similar Chinese target with our own tactical nuclear weapon. There's only one problem with all this. We probably couldn't do such a mission if we tried. The video argues the U.S. has abandoned its buildup of tactical nuclear weapons, which are forceful but smaller and more targeted in their destruction than earth-shattering strategic nuclear weapons. Since the end of the Cold War, according to Bob Peters, Strategic Deterrence Fellow at Heritage, the U.S. has dramatically reduced the number of nuclear weapons around the world. That's why Donald Trump is making a big fuss about Iran having nuclear weapons. They don't want these other countries to get them because they know they don't have none. Their weapons are like we just read, man, outdated. Signed multiple arms control agreements with the Soviet Union and the Russian Federation, and today has an arsenal that's roughly 85% smaller than the ones it fielded at the height of the Cold War, and that was years ago. It wasn't super long ago, but it was some years ago. The U.S. removed naval and land-based tactical nuclear weapons from Korea in 1991 and retired the nuclear variants of the Tomahawk cruise missiles that were stationed across the Pacific. We had Russia, we thought, under control with the breakup of the Soviet Union. See, trying to control other nations. That's Russia. That's your problem. We always thought China would be an economic threat. Senator Deb Fisher, Republican, Nebraska, a top member on the Armed Services Committee, said in the clip. But now China has tripled its nuclear arsenal over the past 5 years and plans to go from 500 to 1,000 warheads by 2030. How do you know we're going to be here in 2030? The newest nuclear weapon in the U.S. arsenal is now over 35 years old, Peter points out, and many are decades older, meant to be retired and replaced in the 80s. That don't sound wise. Like a 1975 Cadillac bought by our grandfather, we've been keeping America's strategic deterrence on life support, said Peters. So like, let me see. Republican Chip Roy of Texas blamed it on a decades-long focus on Western Asia at the expense of containing threats in the Indo-Pacific region. Part of this is a hangover form that I call endless wars, where instead of having that strong deterrence we got involved with, a quarter century of endless conflict that caused a great toll, both in terms of blood and treasure. China has not only been building up its strategic and tactical nuclear weapons, but its anti-ship nuclear capabilities and its fractional orbital bombardment systems, space-based platforms that can drop munitions, including nuclear ones from space onto the Earth's surface. They got some tactical shit for your ass, Esau. Let me see, is this the right precept? Yeah, this really talking about, it's talking about more so, the North country is Russia, but hey, China is lumped in with this too because China's gonna ultimately come against America. They're allies, like I said. This Jeremiah 25:9. Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith Yahweh, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land and against the inhabitants thereof and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them and make them in astonishment and a hissing and perpetual desolations, right? And ultimately, America is going to become a desert, dude. It's speaks on that multiple times throughout the scriptures. And now it's talking about ancient Babylon, but this is applied to spiritual Babylon as well, man. At the same time, China's building nuclear-capable long-range hypersonic missiles that could, in time, be able to deliver nuclear weapons to the American homeland with little to no notice, Peters warned. The video argues that the U.S. has too few tactical nuclear weapons when compared with China, weapons that would offer a forceful response but avoid population decimating strategic nukes. It's a scripture in here that talks about that talks about it's in chapter 9, I believe. Yes, This is Revelation 9 and 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more out hereafter. So those woes are talking about uh it's talking about World War One. And then two more coming after that. We already had World War Two, and then we're on the brink of World War Three right now, which World War Three is gonna be the last thing that happens, right? Up into the return of Yahweh and those nukes coming over here and the lake of fire and brimstone and all that stuff. And they're gonna come down with pinpoint accuracy, man. I can't remember where that precept is at. It might even be in the Apocrypha. But those arrows, man, those arrows are talking about those missiles, those ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. And this is Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly, man. So that third woe is around the corner, dude. All these things that's going on is leading up to that. Right now, we're preaching about arms control, but building nothing. The video states we must modernize the existing strategic arsenal and replace the decades-old warheads and missiles that were meant to be retired in the 80s and 90s. Actually, let's go ahead and get this too, man. There's this Psalm 64 and 8, because we all learning something right now. This is a good ass chapter to read too. I've read this before as well, but I could start at verse 7. But the Most High Power shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away, and all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High Power. For they shall wisely consider of his doing. The righteous shall be glad in Yahweh and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. Okay? So I'm learning something new along with y'all while reading this article. Because if you Google, I believe it's the seven countries that have nuclear warheads and the number of warheads they have, right? Like I said, Russia is number one, followed by America. And then I believe China is third. I could just get that metric for y'all real quick. This video going on pretty long, but hey, this is prayer, man. Lord willing, this lesson saved as well. Let me see. The 7 countries. How many countries? Let me just make sure that's correct. How many countries have nuclear warheads? Have nuclear weapons? Okay, it's 9. Slovakia. I knew it was either 5, 7, or 9. Right, so let's see. Here it is. So Russia have five of damn near 6,000. Russia, then America got over 5,000. China got 400, which is probably even more than that now. There's no telling how. This is from a couple years ago. This probably more. Nah, I doubt that. Oh. And but I was saying though, China was third, right? But now we're seeing that America is being exposed, right? Because their warheads are apparently outdated as fuck. So they got a whole bunch of old ass bombs. And I didn't even know that before this, right? That's what I said. So their tongues shall fall upon themselves. They're exposing themselves in the process of this as well. It says, we need a much stronger but modern Navy, said Roy. And I know somebody that just went to the Navy a few years ago, actually. But built on what K Street contractors are saying they need to be, but rather, what do we actually need? The world is really watching both allies and adversaries. Is the United States going to accept decline and live in a world in which the Chinese, the Russians, perhaps the Iran regime, and North Koreans can successfully coerce the United States of America to prevent us from moving in the world on terms that benefit the American people and our prosperity and freedom, said Rebecca Heinrich, senior fellow with Heritage. The United States must field the military capabilities that will convince the Chinese leadership that today is not the day to pick a fight with the United States or its allies. And you see, they still talking shit. They can't even be humble, man, said Admiral Charles Richard, former head of U.S. Strategic Command. And it makes sense why he's a former head. So, yeah, man. Hey, learned a little bit today. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to those out there listening and watching. Close it off there. Call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakakurash. Double blessing and honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. And until next time, I say Shalom, Israel. Shalom.